May 3rd, 2006 was a day that Autumn Letendre will never forget. She received the news that her husband, Marine Captain Brian Letendre, was killed while conducting combat operations in Iraq. Now living life as a military widow and single mother, Autumn has collected many memories into her album, Raise Your Flag, which includes the song Daddy Loves You, written for her newborn son as his daddy deployed overseas. We had a chance to talk with Autumn about that new collection of songs dedicated to our troops and their families.
I started writing music at a very young age, mostly started through poetry, and I would always create a melody to my poetry. I then, as I got older, I started writing more intense poems about my emotions and experiences. And in 2001, I became a military spouse, and those poems really became my song as my husband was deployed. I wrote my first poem that is on my album in 2002, and it was a poem that I sang over and over and over again to get me through each and every day. Some of those 24 hours seemed like a week at a time, and that is when my love of my younger years of writing flourished. And many songs that you can hear today are from that time period. 1776 she's flown, courageous men and women she's known. What inspired the album Raise Your Flag was a very, very emotional November day. I had been asked to fly to California from Indiana and witness my husband's team getting off of the bus from Iraq. My husband would not be on this bus, and that was one of the hardest days I've ever experienced, because when you're at an event that welcomes people home, you can usually just merge into a crowd. But this particular day, I was the different person. I had been a part of this group. I started with this group. We all said goodbye to our spouses at the same time. Now they're saying welcome home to them, and I am just at a different place. Brian was killed in May. It's now November. And right before an announcement was made, the buses are on their way, a flag was handed to me. The bus rounded the corner, and when the first sign of the door opened, people just ran. They all ran. And that's when I raised my flag and I waved it 3 times. And that was all I could hold my hand up. It was so heavy that I brought it back down to my chest and just said, God, give me strength, give me strength. Give me. I mean, just to stand there so that I could welcome them home. The plane ride home the next day from California was where the emotion of Raise Your Flag came. And I was just journaling like I always did, all my emotion, raise your flag, raise it high, and just writing everything I did. That's pretty much how my poems go. And then how it relates to history. And then that's when I wrote Raise Your Flag on the plane ride home on a cocktail napkin.
Raise your flag, raise it high, lift your glory to the sky, let it ripple, let it wave, celebrate the USA. Hands on hearts, heads bowed low, say a prayer for fallen souls. Vietnam, USS Cole, Afghanistan, Iraq, your freedom.
I hope there's a message to my album, and I hope that the main message is be proud to be an American. I hope that whether it is a song that talks about the death of a military member or if it talks about welcoming one home, that people realize if we did not have our country with an elite armed forces, we wouldn't be able to do either of those things. People forget their freedom, and they forget that that American flag is a symbol for us.
To be free, what does that mean?
I kind of just take one day at a time, and whatever doors open, I'm excited to go through them. I've learned a lot since Brian was killed, but I've learned, and not just about death, I've learned a lot about life and how exciting that is, not only through music, but exciting through meeting fans. You can go to www.autumnletendre.com. There you can find all kinds of updates and information. You can join the Facebook fan page. You can order something from the store, like the album, and just see what I'm up to and see where I'm going.
That's about all the time we have for today's show, but you can still enter this week's drawing to win a copy of Autumn's Raise Your Flag. Log on to InsideMusicRow.com and click on the link for free music. Now, if you want to get Inside Music Row to go, search for the True Country app and download it today to get exclusive artist features and interviews. We're going to leave you today with that new music video from Katie Armiger, I Do, But Do I? Until next time, I'm Bailey for Inside Music Row, and I'll see you again real soon.